live. I just want to.
We're already going live.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to Bracket Bash, the podcast. We're taking bracket of 32, 64, 128 and more, and banter our way down to a winner. I am your host this week, the Iowa State fan that called the game correctly. I'm the only one in my entire group that knew Iowa State was going to win. I didn't know it was going to win that fucking close, but I knew they were going to win. And next to me is Q.
Oh, I'm next to you. It looks like Jess is next to you. Why do we always have this conversation?
Because your screen is flipped on your side.
I flipped it back.
Oh, did you? Okay, so I was working. Working off the knowledge. I was working off the knowledge that it was flipped on your side. So I was trying to humor you in your situation. All right. So next is Jess.
The beautiful bastard Jess, who has a headache. So hopefully I'm peppy today.
You peppy?
Never.
And next to her is the person that we're actually celebrating today. Q is he's so close to being one of the original three. But he is, with the exception of me, the longest running bastard on this show. Q and I have been friends for years now. And he is one of my good friends. He's one of the best bastards that we have. I appreciate him. Q, how you doing this week?
I am doing great. And as Freddie did just, nicely say, I am the best, which means I am the best bastard of them all. I am the energy. I am the reason why this show even goes live. Freddie pushes the button, but I make it alive.
One of these days, I'm going to create a mute button for him. That just hasn't been that good of an option yet. After him, we have Brian. Brian, how you doing, sir?
I am doing good. It's funny that he is on the list of the longest running anything other than the running for a donut. I don't think he's ever ran for anything in his life. Oh, and
you son of a bitch! I had to chase her down.
And Freddie, I didn't know you were into tetherball. That's awesome. Iowa State in the big tetherball tournament. That's awesome that you follow that, man. I didn't know. I didn't know you were a fan. But hey, guys, I am Dr. Dank. That's right, Brian from thedailydank.com. And off next to me is my amigo, Mr.
Hey, I'm Kevin from the Mod Squad Network, and back to the retro review. I don't have no extra commentary. I'm just here.
Just here. Really, put more emphasis on the the mob squad, like the mob, squad or something like that.
Nah.
Throw a little rock in there and be like, come on, Mod Squad.
This week. Before we get to the topic, I'm going to get to a couple rules. Number one is the entire pass to parcel. We don't have pass to parcel today because there are 5 people on the screen. Unless somebody happens to dip out for whatever reason, then the pass to parcel is live until the quarterfinal round is over. That is the Elite 8. Other than that, Steal a Vote, which is actually named for the best bastard Q. Because that is the most bastard move you could have, that you can steal one person's vote as long as they have not voted yet in that turn. But you can only do that one time per show up into and including the quarterfinal round matchup. And of course, the oldie but goodie, we have the blowing of loads. If you're one of the first people to go and don't want to be one of the first people to go, you blow your load. That means you're going last. If somebody else blows their load after you, you are no longer going last. You're going directly before them, and so on and so forth. If everybody blows their load in the same turn, that is called a Bukake episode. And last week, Q was not here to fuck this up. So Q, I have some news for you. We have a new element on this show, and it's called the Pearl Necklace.
Interesting.
Okay. The Pearl Necklace, so named by the 3 girls that was on last week's show, was Shy, Bubbles, and Nancy, is when you have one particular item that is in the bracket, go through the entire bracket without a vote against it. Finally happened after 146 episodes. The Emperor's New Groove went through the entire Disney bracket without a vote against it. Congratulations to them. They named it, not me, but I'm so proud of them for even coming up with that one. That's our rules.
I'm happy.
Q, Q's going to start this one because he's the best bastard of them all, and I want him to start this episode off. Q, is it Aladdin, the 90s version, or RV?
Oh, that's easy, bro. I was never a fan of RV, honestly enough. Like it had its points, its little puns and stuff, but I didn't find it that funny. And Aladdin's just a fucking classic, so we going with Aladdin.
Aladdin gets to vote off of this one. Jess.
I'm gonna go with Aladdin.
Aladdin gets another one. Brian.
Oh, I struggle with this one. Aladdin.
Gavin.
Hey, you ain't never had a friend like me. Aladdin.
Gets his vote and my vote. It will be a sweep moving on to the next round.
First round, sweep.
Jeff starts us off on this one. Jess, I love this. We have a horror movie matchup just for you. It is 1 Hour Photo or Death to Smoochie.
I don't know either one of these movies.
I'm waiting for somebody.
Is, Robin Williams, right?
Yep.
Which one has Robin Williams in it?
Both of them. I have a feeling this is all about Robin Williams.
I was waiting for somebody to figure that out.
I mean, I already knew it, so.
Hey, I don't got to vote for the guy. I just got to vote for his things.
I'm gonna
That's
go.
what you said down at the glory hole.
I'm gonna go with the 1 hour one. I don't know either one of these movies.
1 Hour Photo gets a vote off of that one. Brian.
Is Death to Smoochie a horror film?
I consider it a horror comedy.
Okay. All right.
Like at best.
Freddie's got a fucked up sense of humor, though, so
Yeah.
bear that in mind.
Yeah, I could see that. I definitely see that. I'm gonna go 1 Hour Photo. That was, I think, his first really dramatic breakout role, right? And that kind of thing. Yeah, it stood out. It's creepy as fuck too. It really is.
1 Hour Photo gets a nod off of that one. Kevin, 1 Hour Photo or Death to Smoochie?
I've never seen either one of these. I'm not a horror person, so but I like the name Death to Smoochie, so I'll take that one.
Gets a vote. I like Death. I like 1 Hour Photo movie better than Death to Smoochie, but I like the concept of Death to Smoochie because Death to Smoochie kind of reminds me of Barney the dinosaur, who is what Smoochie is, and it always reminds me of the entire Death to Barney the dinosaur, which reminds me of the song entire I hate you, you hate me, let's hang Barney from a tree with a 6-foot rope and a 10-foot drop, let's hear Barney's neck go pop. And there's other versions of that, but
there's
I just like
many other versions.
there's so many of them. We used to use it when I was in the Air Force. We used to use them as cadences, the entire that part. And some of those cadences, man, for people in the military know, some of these cadences can get really, really fucked up. But you have to have a certain sense of humor to be in the military as well. So shout out to our military people. My vote, however, I agree that 1 Hour Photo is a better movie. And I can always sing hate songs to Barney later on. So 1 Hour Photo gets my vote. Q, finish this out. Is it 1 Hour Photo or Death to Smoochie?
Death to Smoochie!
Mine was kind of a toss-up, so like that.
You see, the excitement does everything, Kevin.
Got you, bro.
Freddie, just so you know, Barney is making a comeback. They are releasing a whole new season.
Yeah.
It's an animated Barney, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But he's still hanging out.
He can't touch the little kids on the show.
Brian starts us off on this one. In the number 2 seed, we have Good Morning Vietnam. That's the only time I'll ever be doing that. Versus World's Greatest Dad.
Oh, Good Morning Vietnam. Yeah, 100%. I remember going to the theater watching that down the street from my house as a kid, and then I had that HBO run. Great movie, great movie. A little educational, too. You might not realize it as a kid, but then all of a sudden you learn a little something.
Yeah, like he was really there.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
Yeah, I got to go Good Morning Vietnam because you saying that right there brought back a memory from my past when I would go camping. My uncle every morning would get on the CB and say, Good Morning River Ranch, which is a take on Vietnam. And he has since passed, and he was a big father figure in my life. So that just reminds me of him. I got to go Good Morning Vietnam.
To be honest, like I get how Good Morning Vietnam's a good movie to a lot of people. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't like World's Greatest Dad either. So the fact that either one of these movies being likable is not the issue. However, I am a fan of old time radio announcers.
So you're going to go to Vietnam.
They don't really have a lot of announcers that put pride into announcerships anymore. You go back into the 50s, 60s, 70s, and you had very animated announcers that had to time everything perfectly and stuff like that. Now it's so to the point that it's all pre-recorded and stuff like that. So I give props just on that aspect alone with Good Morning Vietnam moving on. I have other aspects too for it, but I will wait until next round. Q, is it Good Morning Vietnam or World's Greatest Dad?
You know, this is kind of a bastard move, making me vote for all fucking.
That's why he did it.
I thought it was going to be easy. Remember, you could vote for his thing.
Now you made it sound weird.
But just to Will Smith. So.
Oh, that was just a given, though. It's Harvey. He definitely he told us about his hate for Smith for whatever reason. Anyways, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go with Good Morning Vietnam just simply because of the whole Good Morning Vietnam. And
sounds like a radio game show host off of that one.
You're about to get the radio, so what the fuck you mean you're not gonna do it again?
Q gives his vote on that one, which means Jess finishes out. Is it Good Morning Vietnam or World's Greatest Dad?
I'm going to do Good Morning Vietnam for Harvey.
Harvey doesn't even like Good Morning Vietnam.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Shut up, guys.
I fucking love that movie. More for the music than anything else, but
that was such a
Brian.
little kid argument. He doesn't even like it, man.
Brian, is it Happy Feet 2 or Jumanji?
Oh, Jumanji. The fact that you threw 2 at the end of Happy Feet just threw it out the window.
They're both
Jumanji.
good, though.
Yeah. The first one was excellent. Second one was good. Is that fair?
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. Happy Feet 1 is also on this list as well, so make note of that one. Jumanji gets a vote from Brian. Kevin?
Yeah, screw Happy Feet. I'll go Jumanji.
That's a website, I believe.
I mean, don't look up my pictures on there, but I'm just saying.
OnlyFans, not a sponsor. Could be.
Only Dad. Only Dad.
Yeah. Jumanji gets another vote. I'm gonna go with Jumanji as well. Looking back on it now, the especially with the newer versions of Jumanji out, I personally think Jumanji is like number 3 in that type thing as far as quality of actual movies go. And I'm not a rock fan at all, but I do think the newer versions are just almost perfect. Jumanji gets my vote, though. Q, is it Jumanji or Happy Feet 2?
Jess, which way you vote on this one?
You'll find out when I vote.
You bitch. I'd be surprised if she didn't vote for Happy Feet, but at the same time, it is number 2, so I don't know how much of a fan she is of that one. But I don't like little cutesy movies. Fuck that penguin.
Pretty sure you get kicked out of the zoo for that, but
That's
I
another
think you do
website.
too, but I haven't been caught yet, so I don't know.
that's why they're happy, right? What's your final Q?
Yeah. What was the other one besides Happy Feet?
Jumanji.
That's right. Yeah, we'll go that one because I was stuck in the jungle until someone rolled an 8 for a long time, and I was upset.
I hear they have fun and games in the jungle.
Yep.
You can have anything you want, but you better not take it from me.
Q's like, I have no idea where you're going.
What
Q,
is your gang? No, I know the song "Welcome to the Jungle." Shut up.
Jess finishes out. Is it Jumanji or Happy Feet 2?
So, I love Happy Feet, but I'm not a fan of Happy Feet 2. So I absolutely love Jumanji. So
I changed my vote.
You're not allowed to.
I know.
Yeah, you're not. Even this episode, you're not allowed to. Jumanji moves on 5-0 to the next round. Kevin starts this one off. Is it Toys or Mrs. Doubtfire?
I gotta go. You know what? I really like Toys. I like Toys better than Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm not a huge Mrs. Doubtfire fan to begin with. Toys. That's the
Toys
one with
gets-
LL Cool J and everything too, right?
To be perfectly honest, I have no idea, but I just don't like Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't. I've said this publicly too. Like, Mrs. Doubtfire is a dad movie, and it pisses me off because it just it doesn't really exploit, but it does over-examine the fact that dads kind of get screwed
Mhm.
in the custody world. And
you.
yeah, they do. But
Still.
it's the fact that even since that movie, nothing's been changed about that. And that bothers me. So every time I watch that movie, it just goes off of that one. So I will be voting for Toys off of this one. And just because today is a celebration of Q, I'm going to kick off the steal of votes by stealing Q's vote, whether he's going to vote for which one or not. I'm going to steal Q's vote and vote for Toys on this one. Q, what would have your vote been?
Well, I mean, it kind of ruined my vibe stealing my fucking vote there, Fred.
Oh, I'm just the first one.
Oh, I know. I'm imagining that's probably coming around the board. But
Get ready for it.
Anyways, if you'd have just been like, so what's your, if you just went on to the normal transition, what's my vote? I was just going to be like, toys, toys, toys. And then have you write down Mrs. Doubtfire.
Either way, Toys will be moving on off of that one. Jess, is it Toys or Mrs. Doubtfire?
I'm going with Mrs. Doubtfire. 8.
Does get a vote off of that one. Brian, is it Toys or Mrs. Doubtfire?
You know what? I have agreed to myself. I will never vote for anything that has a Lawrence brother in it. So I have to go Toys.
4-1. Toys takes out one of the top Rob Williams movies of all time on this one. Moves on to the next round. I start this one off as either License to Wed or Insomnia. As a wedding officiant, I should vote for License to Wed because it's just fucking funny and it goes off of my own type thing. But Insomnia it takes a dark person to go to a dark realm. And that's exactly what Insomnia is. And looking back on what this is, and then also knowing the tragic end of Robin Williams, again, rest in peace to that man. We probably should have seen it coming, or at least questioned it at the most point. So Insomnia will be getting my vote off of this one. Q, is it Insomnia or License to Wed?
Like the insomnia, like the insomniac killer, or are we talking like the disease insomniac?
Well, they're both technically a disease. You just can't fucking sleep, so. Or when you're supposed to, at least.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
Gets a vote, Jess.
License to Wed.
Going off of that one, Dank Bastard himself.
Oh, you got to go in Insomnia. 100%. I didn't really like License to Wed. It was kind of was what it was. It's kind of a waste time comedy that just a filler. Where the other one was excellent.
And finish this off, Kevin. Is it License to Wed or Insomnia?
Insomnia.
Gets 4-1, moves on to the next round, taking out License to Wed off of this one. Q starts us off. Is it Fisher King or Good Will Hunting?
Don't both these have to do with hunting?
No.
No.
Neither one of them actually has to.
But there's fishing, which is like a hunting thing, and then there's hunting in the other one. This makes no goddamn sense.
Both of which are named after the last names of the characters in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Cats and dogs living together. Mass
Fisher,
hysteria.
not fishing.
What's your vote, Q?
You
Oh,
just
sorry.
picked
Okay,
it.
yeah. The fishing one.
Fisher King gets a vote off of this one. Jess, is it Fisher King or Good Will Hunting?
I don't know either one of these movies, so I'm gonna go with
You're
Fisher
about to
King.
hear of one.
You're gonna go with what?
The Fisher King one, because I don't know either one of these movies.
Might just be an upset and a half. Brian, is it Good Will Hunting or Fisher King?
So I guess Good Will Hunting would be like the obvious one if you're doing I don't know, like this overall movie wise, it's won a bunch of Academy Awards. But performance wise, if we're judging just off of Robin Williams' performance, I'm gonna have to say Fisher King because he killed it that one.
That your final?
Yeah, it's a final.
Fisher King takes the vote off of that one. Kevin.
No, I'm Good Will Hunting. I recently rewatched that, and it is such a good movie. Matt Damon's performance in that movie was fantastic as well. So, Good Will Hunting.
Even Affleck in that did good.
Yeah, Ben Affleck, who doesn't have a lot of good movies, actually had a really good rendition in that one as well. Like everybody had a good movie in that one. I'm gonna go with Good Will Hunting as well.
Did you just say Ben Affleck doesn't have very many good movies?
He doesn't.
You're absolutely right.
There's very few movies I can think that Ben Affleck has done a good job in. Dogma, he actually did a pretty good job in that one.
Chasing Amy, he killed. I liked him in Chasing Amy.
I just don't like the movie Chasing Amy as a whole. So
really,
although Chasing Amy will be coming up next week because we're doing the Mel Brooks versus Kevin Smith matchup.
Ooh.
So
that's going to be tough.
I'm aware of that. We did it for bracketology, and I think Spaceballs won that entire thing. It ended up being a Brooks versus Brooks finals. It was Spaceballs versus Robin Hood Men in Tights as far as the finals goes. So there's that. Fisher King moves on 3-2. I don't know how, but it did. Jess starts off finishing out the first half of round one. Is it Night at the Museum 3 or Dead Poets Society?
Night at the Museum.
Gets a vote. Brian.
It was Night at the Museum 3, and what was the other one?
Dead Poets Society?
Oh, you gotta go Dead Poets Society. 100%.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
I'm assuming the other two Night at the Museums are in this bracket as well.
Yes.
So 2 and 3 was not very good. The first Night at the Museum was really good. So definitely Dead Poet Society.
Gets a vote, and he gets a win off of that one. I personally think the best Night Museum is actually the second one. But that's because I'm a huge fan of Amy Adams. So that's that. Q, finish this out. Is it Dead Poet Society or Night in Museum 3?
You think the second one is the?
I think it's my favorite one of the three. I don't know if it's the best one. Much like the third Back to the Future is my favorite one, but I also don't think it's
Those
the best
are all
one
trash
as well.
equally. So
Agreed.
Is it Dead Poets or Night at the Museum there, sir?
I'll go Night at the Museum just because I like Stiller.
Stiller's not bad. We'll be right back right after this break. Brian,
Pick
you have an ad for us?
for the Bears. Sorry.
Hey guys, it's Brian from thedailydank.com. Guys, come check us out. We got a whole bunch of stuff on and popping over there. Check us out on YouTube, YouTube, Instagram, all the grams, all the things, guys. Whatever you're on, we're on all social media. You love dank content. You love the laugh. You love a fiery morning show with a bunch of cool stuff. Come check us out, guys. It's worth the watch. It's worth the like. Dailydank.com. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Just jump on and enjoy the ride. That's all you got to do.
And as far as the other bastards on this show, the only real thing that we have to add is that if you like this show, go ahead and check out some of the stuff that we have on Spotify and other places around the net, like Bastards Backstage, where everybody else on here on this screen has been on Bastards Backstage. So that is an interview show, 25 or so questions. Everybody gets the same questions. 25 questions, millions of answers. And the other one, of course, is the recasting call, where we take old movies and recast them with some new favorites. Tomorrow night, we are recasting the movie Scream for next month, but the movie She's All That just released this past Thursday. It is the month of September's drop for this one, so check that one out with my co-host Kate. And if you want to be on on this show, backstage or recasting call, make sure to let us know, and we'll see what we can do for you. Welcome back to the second half of round one. It looks like Brian starts us off on this one. Brian, is it Bicentennial Man or What Dreams May Come?
Oh, that's a fuck you, Freddie, man. Both of those are brilliant fucking films. I mean, just brilliant. Which way do you go? I mean, like, wow, like they're both on different apps. If I have a gun to my head, Freddie's like, you pick right now. I'm gonna have to go What Dreams May Come. That's the heavier, that's the one that had the most impact on me. So
Gets a vote, Kevin.
I got to go Bicentennial Man on this one. I think it's just a better movie.
I got to go Bicentennial Man on this one too, because sometimes you just have to put a little boogie in it.
Little Miss.
So there's that. Bicentennial gets another vote. Q, is it Bicentennial Man or What Dreams May Come?
I'm gonna say Bicentennial Man.
Gets a vote and the win. Jess, finish us out.
I'm going with Bicentennial Man.
Of course you would, you weirdo.
It's a good movie.
So is
And
the
especially
other one.
especially for that scene where you have a robot telling a joke. Like, I believe the joke was, how do you make a tissue dance? Because you put a little boogie in it. 4-1, Bicentennial moves on, faces a 5-0. Kevin starts this one off. Kevin, speaking of robots, is it Robots or Jack?
Oh, I love a good Jack. So we're going to go Jack.
Jack gets a vote off of this one. I like DreamWorks movies. There's not a lot of DreamWorks movies that I don't like. Robots is actually one of those DreamWorks movies that I don't really care for, even though it has Robin Williams in it, who does a phenomenal job. However, Jack is about a boy that is, it sounds dirty, but it's not, is a young boy trapped in an old man's body. He grows, he ages differently than boys does. So he's 10 years old, but he's Robin Williams in his 30s, the late 30s to 40s type thing. So it's a very poignant movie, especially in today's day and age where you have a lot of bullying factors and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with Jack as well. Q, is it Jack or Robots?
In the like the little nursery rhyme, Jack and Jill, are they brother and sister or boyfriend girlfriend?
Yes.
I don't think it's mentioned. But between that day and age when it was done, probably both.
That is funny. And you know what? You're probably correct. Cool. Oh, by the way, I just had one of the most astonishing ideas ever that I'm probably going to do for the Scream episode.
Well, keep it for the Scream episode.
Now had all of my shit picked out immediately.
You know, Jess, someone pointed out to my girlfriend a few months ago, like I was telling a story, and she just looked at my girlfriend and said, "You say yes to him a lot, don't you?" Like just, oh yeah, and she totally agreed. And I just saw that look in your face as he was telling that story. You're just like, oh yeah, yeah.
Q's the type of person that Jess is the type of person that will look at Q and it's just you know when toddlers have the entire poop stance. For anybody else, kids out there, they know that toddlers have a certain poop stance. Where they're no. You have a poop stance where you're just sitting there you're standing there thinking. You're in kind of the halfway
almost
thinking
like
pose.
That, almost.
You're sitting there like kind of squashed down a little bit. It's a poop stance. I guarantee you, Jeff just looks at you in time and goes like, one of these days he's going to be shitting his pants. I'm going to know exactly what his entire poop stance is.
It's like his brain has slow bandwidth.
Anyway, Q, is it Jack or Robot?
What is this? What is this? The roast of Q? Like what the hell?
I was invited to. I didn't know it was Robin Williams. I thought it was the roast of Q.
Q, is it Jack or Robots?
Robots are going to take over the future, and Jack's going to be the only thing to help me through that. So I got to go with some Jack.
Jack gets the vote and the win off of that one. Jess, is it Jack or Robots?
I'm going with Robots.
I kind of figured there's going to be one of them here. Robots gets a vote. Kevin or Brian, sorry.
Can you say it again?
Is it Jack or Robots?
Jack.
I love how you're looking up like he's like above stairs, like you're down in the basement and he's like right.
I have my monitors mounted a little too high. I have a whole new setup, and it's something I have to adjust. So to see you, I have to look above my camera because I have it eye level. So that's why, I'm annoyed with you. I'm rolling my eyes.
That's all right. The camera's usually a little bit higher than the person when you go to your like normal porn studio, so you should be used to it by now. Jack moves on 4-1 to the next round. It looks like I start this one off. It's either Happy Feet or Flubber.
Ooh.
I was actually kind of waiting for Jess's reaction on that, but she looks a little busy right now. I'm going to go for Flubber on this one. I think Flubber is my introduction to Robin Williams back in the day. It's just it came from a decent TV show too, and I'm just going to go with Flubber on this one for the sake of argument. Q, is it Flubber or Happy Feet?
Flubber or Happy Feet?
It's your vote.
I know, but that's what it was. I was letting you know.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Jesus.
Sure, yeah. Just go ahead and go with that. Yeah, that sounds good.
That's pretty much what I just got from that. Yeah,
pretty sure that's what you get all the time.
You're right. Sometimes it doesn't bug me because I'm doing the same thing back to her. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Or I'll just change it to I'll just mid of her story to tell her I don't care about the story. I'll just start switching topics.
Cool story, bro. What's your vote?
Talking about
I don't know. That's why I was stalling.
and that is why I didn't give you a reaction. So
Who is he playing Happy Feet again?
Flubber.
he plays Flubber and Happy Feet.
I'm just trying to get the vote out of him.
I'm okay. Yeah, it's probably going to be Flubber.
He plays
There you go.
the witch doctor penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the best.
The witch doctor penguin, the phony.
Q, when you're thinking, do you hear dial-up?
You're just like,
shit. I'm like, as if he's in a real witch doctor. Well, I guess maybe he is a phony because he's a penguin. But like, I didn't understand.
No, the really funny part is I'm still reeling from Q's dial-up brain going off, and what my brain apparently it's contagious. My brain in Flubber, he uses it to spray on like basketball shoes. So I thought you guys were talking about like they were playing the witch doctors as far as the other team goes. And then there goes like that's an interesting bit of trivia, but two, I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Jess, is it Flubber or Happy Feet?
So this is a fuck you, Freddie. I love both of these movies. But I do have Flubber on VHS. Freaking awesome. I'm going to go with Flubber.
Flubber gets to vote and the win off of that one, Brian.
I'll go Happy Feet just to be a rebel.
And Kevin, finish this off.
Flubber.
4-1. Flubber moves on, faces a 5-0 in the next round. Q starts this one off. Is it Night at the Museum 2 or Popeye?
Don't ever give me spinach.
You want a different kind of greenery?
I'll become super strong and beat the shit out of you. No, I'm gonna throw it back at you though.
That's the wrong kind of green.
Is it? Yes, it is. But
why is that not a strain name? Popeye spinach. That would be the best freaking weed name. Who wouldn't
it might be one.
Now you have something you can create.
Yeah, it was a healing center.
Yeah. Oh, 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California, guys. You're number one. Cannabis Superstore.
All right. I'm gonna go with Popeye just for the old style Popeye on the boat and everything. Like
it's like doing the entire Red Robin type situation. You just kind of have to.
Slow.
Jess, is it Popeye, Not at the Museum 2?
I'm gonna go with Popeye.
I swear to God, he said, "Is it gonna be Popeye or museum?" Never mind. I was
You're
not
an idiot.
I think Q's been having too much spinach today. Brian,
Considering
is it Popeye?
Yeah.
Popeye or Night at the Museum 2?
You know what? For the late great Shelley Duvall, let's go Popeye. Popeye.
Damn.
That was kind of one of her last movies, right?
Yeah. And it sucked. They did build an entire town for that movie and then just deserted it when it was done. So, but they did. I'm pretty sure there's people living in it now. So they just kind of built it for other people, which kind of sucks, but it's kind of cool at the same time.
Night at the Museum movie just lose.
Yes, it did. Kevin, Popeye, Night at the Museum.
No, it just lost.
You may have said that Popeye was a horrible movie, but I love the movie Popeye. That is definitely getting my vote.
It is a weird movie.
It is weird, but it's oddly entertaining. in my personal
Who
opinion.
directed that?
Who does he play on Night at the Museum?
General
One of the-
Grant?
No,
Or
No one of note.
Teddy Roosevelt.
yeah, there you go, Roosevelt.
Yeah.
No wonder why I hate that movie so much.
Popeye moves on 4-1. Yeah, Night at the Museum is for Amelia Earhart alone. Night Museum would have gotten my vote. Then again, I have a thing for redheads. So there's that. Popeye moves on 4-1 to the next round. Jess starts us off on this one. Is it The Birdcage or Ferngully?
Ferngully.
Gets a vote. Brian.
You know what? I have to give it to the Birdcage. It came out at a time. I'm from a rural town in western Arizona. I don't have a lot. I know what I know, but there's not a lot of culture here, especially at that time. And that was the first time I ever seen a bear, I guess would be the term, displayed even portrayed on film or anything. And you know what? You got to give it to Robin Williams. That had to be a breakout role at the time. Kind of broke down some barriers, kind of shed a little light, whether positive, negative, or whatever. It was a different role. But yeah, definitely I'd give it to the Birdcage.
Birdcage gets a vote. I do find it funny that another bear gets to finish this entire thing out. But Kevin, is it Ferngully or Birdcage?
No, I'm gonna steal the Bears' vote, and I'm gonna go Birdcage.
Oh,
You
Oh.
son of a beach. You made me
With that bird-
bird.
with that Birdcage, we'll be moving on. I, however, would have gone with Ferngully on that one. That bat is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my. If I could ever choose a pet from a movie, Batty is probably one of my favorite. And the bat can rap, dude. Like, who wouldn't want a bat that could rap? Ferngully would have got my vote.
Was it like on a Friday at 4:55? They're like, "Hey, we can't leave until we name the bat." They're like, "Batty, okay, done. Let's get out of here."
Birdcage moves on 3-2 with a steal a vote on that one. But Q would have been Birdcage or Ferngully.
It probably would have been Ferngully. I'm
So
not
is
gonna
it?
lie. It'd have been the fungal stuff.
So it was a successful steal a vote off of that one from Q. Q has gotten 2 of his votes stolen so far. Brian, is it AI, artificial intelligence, or Night at the Museum 1?
Wow.
That's what she said.
Right after Get Out of My Car.
That is.
Or
Matter of
what are you
fact,
doing in my shower?
It was after a night at the museum too. She said all that crazy. AI. Yes, AI. That's the final vote.
AI gets a nod. Kevin.
We'll let one of the Night at the Museums pass by, and I'll go Night at the Museum.
I'm also going to go with Night at the Museum on this one, but there's still 2 more votes to decide if it actually gets if one of them goes on.
We know.
Yeah.
So
AI
looks like
is a very niche movie.
it really is. Looks like Q's off the screen currently. So we're going to skip him. Jess, is it Night at the Museum or?
Clayton's
sorry.
right here.
Okay. So it goes to Q. Q, is it Night at the Museum or AI, artificial intelligence?
You don't skip me. Night at the Museum, though.
I would have laughed if the beard caught on fire.
I'd have been like,
Jess,
"Oh
finish
no,
this out."
it's Michael Jackson all over."
No, that was his hair. I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson couldn't grow a beard if he tried. Much like me.
Hey, my beard's probably gonna go up to my hair, so it's gonna be all of it.
The beard comb over.
So you're gonna be a flaming bear at the same time?
Yes, that's what my goal
Wow, man.
Q, not at the museum. Sorry.
is.
Jess.
I said not.
Jess. Sorry. Jess, Night in the Museum or AR artificial. I'm usually waiting on Q. That's the reason why. So, Jess, is it Night in the Museum or AI artificial intelligence?
Night at the Museum.
Night at 1. 4-1 faces another 4-1 in the next round. Next up, Kevin starts us off. Kevin, is it Old Dogs or Hook?
Oh, Hook. Hook, where's the hook? Hook, where's the hook? Hook, where's the hook?
Hook gets a vote off of that one. I'm going to vote for Hook for the same reason that I voted for Peter Pan a couple weeks ago, and that was a simple fact that anything Peter Pan related gets a automatic donation. I'm going to call it a donation to a children's hospital. And every single iteration of this entire thing gets a donation to it, and I guarantee you, Hook donated a lot of money and still donating a lot of money to this children's hospital. So shout out to that. Gets my vote. Q, is it Hook or Old Dogs?
I have an old dog, but I'm not an old dog.
Mm,
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to wear a hook, so
Arrgh.
we'll go Hook.
Don't be throwing that karma out there, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want that fantasy to come through. True. Hook gets that vote and the win off of that one. Jess, is it Hook or Old Dogs?
I didn't say a real one.
I'm a real boy.
I'm going with Hook.
Brian, finishes up.
I'm gonna go Hook.
5-0, and I absolutely love what Hook is facing in the next round. The pun is just fucking great. I finished out round 1, and it looks like it's either Man of the Year or Patch Adams. Patch Adams gets my vote just for the vagina entrance scene. Okay, for people who haven't seen this movie and are confused by what the fuck I'm talking about, the vagina entrance scene is they had a gynecologist convention or something like that at the hospital, and I don't know if he was assigned to make the entrance or whatever, but they had a giant vagina as the door for the gynecologist convention. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Plus, Patch Adams is just, it's a good movie. It has a lot of humor to it, but it's also a very poignant movie as well. So it gets my vote. Q, Patch Adams or Man of the Year?
I mean, I am the fucking Man of the Year. So if I'm voting for that, I'm voting for myself, and that just sounds conceited. So I'm gonna have to go Patch Adams.
I wouldn't put it past you. Jess, Patch Adams, Man of the Year.
I'm going with Patch Adams.
Gets a vote and the win off of that one. Brian,
Patch Adams.
going for a sweep. Kevin,
Patch Adams.
Oh, you couldn't be a bastard.
No, I can't. Not on this one.
Patch Adams, it really is a good movie. I would highly recommend it to anybody out there who hasn't seen it. There's some adult humor in it, but it kind of makes you think. So Patch Adams move on 5-0, faces a 3-2 in the next round. We'll be right back right after this break. The only guest this week we have is Kevin. Kevin, what you been up to?
Oh, nothing much. Just working on the Mod Squad Network, where we have a bunch of entertainment shows and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. But I'm also on Back to the Retro Review. That is my personal channel where I review movies, and I am doing tech and podcasting gear reviews. I also have a podcast where I'm teaching people how to start a podcast on a budget. So definitely check those out on Back to the Retro Review.
I was actually having a conversation with somebody at a wrestling event last night about the entire. Apparently, there's a lot of podcasters there too. That was just there, and I was wearing my Bracket Bastards button-down shirt, so I got a whole bunch of questions, and he went ahead and told me that it's like I don't know what kind of editor to use and stuff like that, because there's so many options out there you have to pay for. for anybody out there who's wanting to know, because I go cheap as possible what I can, because we don't get paid for this. We don't have advertisers. Our only bosses in this situation are fans. That they don't really dictate what's going on, but if they start tanking the show, they start tanking the show. It makes it a whole lot more difficult for me. So Lexus Audio is a free app that doesn't have any ads to it too, which is really cool. But you can edit your audio on your mobile device, which is super important because one, my computer sucks, and two, I lead a busy life, so I'm out door dashing stuff like that as well. So I'll edit the show while I'm door dashing, and it's always nice to have that particular option. So that is for anybody out there who's wanting to get into podcasts and stuff like that. Check that out. If you don't like it, delete it. It's not like you're paying for it anyway. So there's that. Welcome back for round 2. Looks like Q starts us off on this one. Q, is it Bicentennial Man or Aladdin?
I feel like Aladdin has a very solid chance of winning this.
So what's your vote?
So I'm going to go the other way and go Bicentennial Man.
Bicentennial Man gets a nod. Jess?
I'm surprised you didn't steal somebody's vote for that. Because
Oh, it's not
surprised.
worth it yet.
Oh, it's not?
Just in case it moves on.
I'm going to go with Aladdin.
Aladdin gets a nod. Brian?
It's Aladdin. What was the other choice?
Bicentennial Man?
Oh, Bicentennial Man.
Was that your vote, or was
Was that your vote?
Yeah,
You just,
yeah,
okay.
Bicentennial Man. Sorry, yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were voting or just confirming what the other one is like. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now type thing. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know which one you did.
Sorry, my bad. My bad.
Kevin, is it Bicentennial Man or Aladdin?
Oh, Aladdin's my favorite Disney movie, so definitely going Aladdin.
I'm gonna pay Q back for stealing his vote earlier, because this show is kind of a celebration of Q, and he is right. Aladdin does have a really big chance of winning this one. It is the #1 seed. This is seeded by Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. You can blame me if you want. I don't really care. But Aladdin, Good Morning Vietnam, Good Will Hunting, and Mrs. Doubtfire are the top 4 seeds of this entire thing. Aladdin has won not only one, but 2 brackets in the past. One for a Disney song, and the other one for a Disney villain, being Jafar. Actually, it's won 3 total, but I will be voting for Bicentennial Man, just so Q doesn't have to worry about it, which means Bicentennial Man moves on 3-2, knocking out Aladdin in round 2.
See,
Jess,
you bastard.
Jess starts us off on this one. Is it Flubber or Good Morning Vietnam?
Flubber.
Gets a vote. Brian?
Good Morning Vietnam.
Kevin?
Yep.
Give me the fucking tiebreaker, Freddie. Yeah, I was paying attention that time.
I just gave you like a bonus cue. I'm okay with either one of these moving on. To be perfectly honest, I think Good Morning Vietnam.
Tiebreaker.
Good Morning Vietnam is probably the better movie of the two, film wise. I'm more of a fan of Flubber, just because I think it's more a comical movie, and that's what I go to the movies for to do. So I will be voting for Flubber on this one, which means Q does get tie-breaking decision. Q, is it Flubber or Good Morning Vietnam?
I'm going with Flubber, bro. On a real note.
I don't disagree with you. Flubber moves on 3-2 to the next round. Brian starts us off. Brian, is it Toys or Birdcage?
Wow, talk about two opposites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Birdcage.
Birdcage gets a vote. Kevin.
Man, Toys is such an underrated movie. I'm gonna go Toys. I don't think it has a chance of passing, but I think Toys is a better movie.
I'm gonna go for Toys as well. I just don't like the movie Birdcage. I don't find anything really insanely wrong with it. I just not really my cup of tea, I guess. So, but Toys as an underrated classic, I agree with you. It really is, and it deserves more props than it gets. So, Q, is it Toys or Birdcage?
I disagree. I'm gonna cage your ass.
Sounds kinky, but I don't want that from you.
With some toys.
What's your final, sir?
Birdcage. Caw.
Which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Jess. Jess, is it Toys or Birdcage?
I'm going opposite of Quentin, so I'll go
Oh,
with
you
Toys.
would vote for Toys.
I mean, they both sound kinky in their own ways, so you know.
Toys moves on to the quarterfinal matchups. Kevin starts us off. Is it Hook or, ironically enough, Fisher King?
You know what? I'm gonna blow my load on this one.
Load has been blown. I'm gonna go. It's the same thing for the Peter Pan reference in the past. I'm gonna be going for Hook on this one, just for the Children's Hospital Q. Is it Fisher King or Hook?
I'm gonna steal Kevin's vote. And I'm gonna go for Fisher King.
Gets 2 votes off of that one. Jess.
Hook.
Which means there's a tie-breaking decision coming down to Brian. Brian, is it Fisher King or Hook?
I am gonna say Fisher King.
Yes, that's what's up. I would have been really upset if you'd have voted the other way because you'd have just totally fucked my steal vote.
Kevin.
Fuck Kevin's blowing of his load.
Blew his load and had his vote stolen after that one. Was it Hook or Fisher King?
It was gonna be Hook.
See, if you didn't blow your load, you could have swayed that entire thing, but no.
Yeah, I see that now.
I see that now.
Fisher King takes out Hook. There is all the top seeds 1 through 4 are gone, by the way. Next up, I start this one off. It's either 1 Hour Photo or Jack. Looking who is going to be facing it in the next round, I'm going to be going for 1 Hour Photo on this one because I personally think it's the better future matchup. I appreciate the movie Jack. I always will. But I think 1 Hour Photo is one of Robin Williams' best legitimate acting performances. So I'm going to be going off of that one for that. Q, is it 1 Hour Photo or Jack?
Give me that Jack Daniels.
Gets a vote. Jess.
I'm gonna go with Jack.
Gets another one. Brian is out of the office currently. So Kevin, is it Jack or 1 Hour Photo?
We'll go Jack.
Go Jack. Jack moves on. We'll get Brian to vote when we can. Q starts this one off. Q, is it Popeye or Jumanji?
Ooh.
The hair on my ass is so thick. People have referred to that as the jungle.
It is.
So let's go with Jumanji.
That's one place I don't want to be welcome to. Jess.
No, you don't.
Is it Jumanji or Popeye?
I'm going with Jumanji.
Gets another
Not
one.
because of him. I'm making that clear. Not because of him.
Brian, is it Jack or 1 Hour Photo?
Jack.
Jack. All right. So that moved on 4-1 to the next round. All right. Also, Brian. Brian, is it Jumanji or Popeye?
Jumanji.
Gets the vote and the win off of that one. Kevin.
I'm gonna go Popeye.
Hugh,
Fuck Popeye.
if Jack was stuck on the roof, would you help Jack off?
Damn straight I would.
No. He probably likes the view.
I mean, I prefer, if Jack helped you off a horse, would you help Jack off a horse?
Oh, wow. I hadn't heard that one before. I'm going to add that one to the horrible joke dad bank.
Jumanji moves on 4-1, faces a 3-2 in the next round. Jess starts us off. Is it Night at the Museum 1 or Insomnia? Both of these moved on 4-1 last round.
Night at the Museum.
Gets a vote, Brian.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I had the work thing real quick. I was getting cleared up.
Night at the Museum or Insomnia?
I'm going to go Insomnia just because I don't think it's going to see any love.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
Insomnia.
Wow.
I agree with you on the entire love situation. I think it does deserve some more love, but it's also the last of the Night at the Museums, which is a damn good series. So I'll be voting for Night at the Museum on this one, which means Q has the ability to be a bastard if he wants on either side of this. Is it Insomnia or Night at the Museum 1? Do you want to know who's facing in the next round?
Nah, it's not going to sway my vote either way. So I'm going to have to say Night at the Museum is not going to be my vote. No, I'm just kidding. It is.
This is why you don't have the ability to change your vote there, sir. So 3-2 faces another 3-2 in the next round. Last up in round 2, Brian starts us off. Is it Patch Adams or Dead Poet Society?
My daughter would kill me if I didn't vote for Dead Poet Society. That's the go-to movie. So Dead Poet Society. Captain, my captain.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
What are they again?
Patch Adams or Dead Poet Society?
I'll go Patch Adams.
Gets a vote. I'm going to go for Patch Adams as well. I think Dead Poet Society gets a lot more love than, and it's a lot more well known than Patch Adams is. And I think Patch Adams needs to be watched more than Dead Poet Society does. Gets my vote off of that one. Q, is it Dead Poets Society or Patch Adams?
I gotta go with Adams of the Patchin.
Gets a vote and the win off of that one. Jess, finish us out. Dead Poets or Patch Adams?
Can you say it? Patch Adams. Why are you being shy?
I mean, I know.
Freddie.
4-1, Patch Adams moves on to the next round. Be right back right after this break.
What a white thing.
Hold on. All right. Before I became a podcaster, I never thought all of these requests for 5-star reviews actually mattered. Well, I was wrong. But being the bastards that we are, we're not just going to ask you to spend those valuable 3 seconds with nothing in return, because it's kind of rude. But I'll trade you for it. If you send us a screenshot of your 5-star review on either YouTube or whatever your favorite podcatcher happens to be, along with a matchup that you want us to vote on, we'll not only shout you out on the show to thank you, but we will do your matchup live on air. It will be our thank you to review we have on this week. This is from a Jack Lennon, and I had to double check that because I wrote down Jack Lemmon the first time. So it's Jack Lennon. Says, hey, bastards, 5 stars sent and well deserved. I was watching a previous show weeks back, and Q threw some shade at Robin Williams. This is the reason I kept this. So he sent this like a while back when we first started doing this, but I knew we were eventually going to be doing a Robin Williams episode, so I kept this for this reason. Q threw some shade at Robin Williams, and I have no idea why. So I ask you this. It's an open question. Who or what is one major star that you just don't like? And we already know Q's answer, although he's probably going to come up with another one because he's a bastard as well. So Dr. Dank himself, is there a celebrity or some other star that you just don't care for?
Oh, so many. So many. Let's get the list. Where's the list at? So for some reason, I do not like, well, I think it's nepotism. I don't like nepotism in show business. The Lawrence brothers, I vaguely brought up earlier today. I don't like that all those, the 3 brothers started acting when they were like 2 years old, and then they're stuck in every show. A show kind of gets a hit going, and they stick a Lawrence brother in there just to bring it down. So the Lawrence brothers, whoa, are on my shit list.
You're on the list. Kevin.
Yeah, Ian Mitchell Smith. I don't really care for him. He did a lot of movies back in the 80s. It's his voice. It just drives, I can't stand his voice. He was in Weird Science. One of the kids in Weird Science.
Guess it, Jess.
I cannot stand Will Ferrell.
That was my answer, but I'm going to have to come up with another one now.
Yeah, mine's Will Ferrell.
Gets an anti-vote. Q, do you have somebody else besides Robin Williams you just don't like?
I don't like Sam Neill.
Off of Stargate?
Liar.
Of what?
Off of Stargate? Isn't that Sam Neill?
No, I don't think so.
It's the one from the dude from Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Alan Grant.
He is some fucking liar.
who's the fuck? Who's the guy
being
from
a
Stargate?
I wanted to see
Bastard.
if anybody would catch it real quick. No. Sam Neill's a very good actor, actually.
I don't know. Maybe Sam Neill's the character that is the actual person off of Stargate. I don't know.
That would be interesting. Huh. Anyways, do I have another one? Yeah, Will Smith. I don't really care for Will Smith. Shout out for Harvey's.
Shout out for Harvey on that one. With the exception of Will Ferrell, because like very few movies of Will Ferrell I actually like. There's just certain people of movies that I look at and I'm very questionable of. Gilbert Godfrey was one of these people, and not because of his acting abilities. I just don't like his voice. It's just weird. The guy who played the main character on Police Academy,
Steve Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg, yeah.
Steve Guttenberg. I've never liked a single movie that he's been in.
Cocoon. What about
3 Men and a Baby?
Especially 3 Men and a Baby. Cocoon wasn't worth anything. By the way, Cocoon has a very bad reputation on bracketology right now because it was it's for over 1,000 days now, well over probably 1,500 by this point. We've had the quickest mercy rule as a thing as like a achievement, which went to Terminator. And the movie that Terminator beat in like 10 minutes was Cocoon. It had the mercy rule in under 10 minutes. Like it was an automatic nope from people voting. And it's gone for so long that I think people have forgotten that there is even though it's on the featured things, people have forgotten that there is a Mercy Rule record set, and it's just not being beat. And that because of how bad the movie Cocoon is compared to the first Terminator, which realistically isn't that good either. So, got to give it some anti-props on that one. Anyway, Jack, I don't know Jack, but Jack, that is your question answered on that one. We thank you for listening, for following along, and we hope you like our answers or disagree. Actually, I kind of hope you disagree with our answers, because sometimes hating somebody is even better than actual loving somebody, and I'm running out of haters, so there's that one.
Hey, you can agree with me anytime, especially if we're throwing me specifically the shout out on me throwing some shade. Appreciate it, bro.
I think that's the name of my autobiography, Me Throwing Shade.
Welcome back for round 3 and beyond. It looks like Kevin, I believe, starts this one off. And I'm going to give Kevin this one. Is it the Fisher King or Patch Adams?
Patch Adams. Fuck the Fisher King.
Ooh.
Patch Adams gets a vote off of that one. I'm pretty sure you get arrested for that too. Patch Adams also gets my vote. I think I've seen the Fisher King once. I agree his performance is pretty good, but Patch Adams it's phenomenal fucking movie, just across the board, and it's a tearjerker at the end too, which you don't really see coming because it's a comedy. So I can appreciate that one. Q, is it Patch Adams or Fisher King?
So I just gotta ask Kevin what he has against the fucking Fisher King.
You.
It took out Hook.
It took out Hook.
How do you feel about that?
Because you're a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, you're a bastard.
Yeah, you're a bastard, but it's okay.
All right, well, just for that, I'm going with the Fisher movie.
My namesake gets a vote off of that one. Jess, is it Fisher King or Patch Adams?
Patch Adams.
Why does that always work? Patch Adams gets a vote. Brian, finish this out. Is it Patch Adams or Fisher King?
We'll go Patch Adams. Peer pressure.
4-1. Patch Adams moves on to the next round. I start this one off, and I'm going to give myself, how about Flubber versus Jumanji? Looking at the board of what we have now,
We'll stop looking at the board.
I think either one of these has a pretty chance of going pretty far. I'm gonna give it to Flubber, just because I have really, really good memories on that one. So Q, is it Flubber or Jumanji?
I'm definitely gonna give it to Butthhair. I'm Flubber, sorry.
But say I always thought Butthhair was Jumanji for you, so it's like
I didn't even think about that. That's funny as hell.
you had me confused. You're like, I'm gonna go with Butthhair. I mean, Jumanji or Flubber. I'm like, is your butt hair bouncy or just rubbery, or do you have turf on your butt or what? Like, I don't.
Oh, there's turf there. Don't get me wrong. There's turf there.
Well, as long as there's no surf there, you should be fine. Flubber gets a second vote. Jess, is it Flubber or Jumanji?
I'm going with Jumanji.
Really?
Jumanji gets a nod.
Flubber was
Brian.
I'm gonna
Flubber,
go
Jumanji.
I'm gonna go Jumanji. It had more of an impact on me. I liked it a lot better.
Which means there's a tie-breaking decision coming down to Kevin. Kevin, Flubber, or Jumanji?
Oh, we're going Jumanji.
With a complete turnaround, Jumanji moves on 3-2 to the next round.
I feel like that was just payback.
Q starts us off on this one. Q. Is it Toys or Night at the Museum?
Okay, so we are what, like 3/4 of the way through this bracket?
With these will be moving on to the semifinals.
So damn close, anyways. You know, I think I realized why I don't have an appreciation for Robin Williams. I haven't seen 3/4 of these fucking movies.
Should probably change that.
Museum, though. That's gonna be my vote. I have seen that one.
Not Museum gets a nod. By the way, steal of votes. Brian and Jess are the only two people not to use their steal of votes. This matchup and the next matchup are the last two times you could use it. So, Jess, is it Toys or Night at the Museum?
Night at the Museum.
Gets a vote. Brian
Night at the Museum.
gets another one. Kevin
Toys.
gets a single vote because I'm going to go for Night at the Museum as well, which means it moves on 4-1, faces another 4-1 in the next round, which means our last matchup. Jess starts out. Jess, last matchup in this round. Is it Bicentennial Man or Jack?
So this is where I can steal votes, right?
This is the last opportunity for either you or Brian. Yeah.
I'm stealing Quentin's vote and going Bicentennial Man.
Okay.
I didn't want you saying Jack Daniels.
Okay.
Bicentennial Man gets 2 votes off of that one. Brian, is it Bicentennial Man or Jack?
Bicentennial Man.
Gets another one and the win. Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to give it the sweep just because 5-0 Bicentennial.
Not give it the sweep. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Just because I know Q would have objected to the sweep, I'm going to give it the sweep off of this one. Bicentennial Man moves on 5-0, but Q would have been Bicentennial Man or Jack.
Oh, me and that Jack Daniels have a history, man.
That's part of the song, and I can't remember the fucking song.
I was hoping somebody would get it, but if not, that just made it all the better. Bartender.
What is it? Shibuzi?
No, it's the bartender song.
No, I'm pretty sure Shibuzi has it in that. That's a lyric in one of Shibuzi's songs out right now too.
I don't know. I shown the bartender song as part of the chorus.
Bicentennial Man moves on 5-0. That was the last time to steal a vote. Brian couldn't. Well, he could have stolen a vote, but he was going last. So that one's gone. Only loads to blow, and the only person to blow a load so far would be Kevin. And Brian starts us off on this one. Brian, I'm going to name these last 4 off, and you can pick one of them. That is the matchup that we're going to be doing. Is it Bicentennial Man, Patch Adams, Jumanji, or Night at Museum 1?
Can you read off of them again? I'm sorry.
The Bicentennial Man, Patch Adams, Jumanji, or Night at the Museum 1?
Bicentennial.
Okay, so your matchup starting off is going to be Bicentennial Man versus Jumanji.
Bicentennial Man.
Gets a vote, Kevin.
Jumanji.
Gets 1 vote, gets a second vote. I'm going to go for Jumanji as well. I find it fitting. I would personally like to see Jumanji and Patch Adams go head-to-head in the finals because they're both of Robin Williams' greatest performances as far as that particular genre goes. And I'd be happy with either one of them moving on. Jumanji gets my nod. Q, is it Bicentennial Man or Jumanji?
It's Jumanji.
I'm going to accept that as Jumanji on that one. Jess.
I'm going to go with Jumanji.
Gets another one. Avoids a sweep, but Jumanji goes 4-1. Bicentennial Man moves into third place option. Kevin starts us off on the other side. Is it Night at the Museum 1 or Patch Adams?
Patch Adams.
gets a vote off of that one. Again, I'm going to agree. Q, Patch Adams, Night at the Museum.
Wait, is this a Robin Williams bracket?
Ooh, there's that dial up again.
Now you know what I deal with on the daily.
Nah, I'm gonna go with Night at the Museum.
Fucking idiot.
That would be
Me?
funny if you didn't realize that until this point. Like, seriously.
It'd be fucking hysterical. I'd laugh.
It would be. Night at the Museum gets a vote off of that one. Jess, is it Night at the Museum or Patch Adams?
Night at the Museum.
Which means is it a tie-breaking decision? Brian, is facing Jumanji in the next round. The loser of this will be facing Bicentennial Man. Is it Night at the Museum or Patch Adams?
I'm gonna say Patch Adams.
Ooh.
Moves on 3-2 to the next round. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to do some math. I start third place off, and it looks like it's going to be Bicentennial Man versus Patch Adams. Or not Patch Adams, sorry. Night at the Museum. Night at the Museum is going to get my particular vote off of this one. Q.
What were the two options?
Bicentennial Man or Night at the Museum for third place.
Oh, for third place, huh? Not the Bicentennial one.
So Night at the Museum.
Yes.
Night at the Museum gets a nod. Jess
Night at the Museum.
gets another one. Brian
Night at the Museum.
and Kevin finishes out.
I'll go Night at the Museum for Owen Wilson.
In a sweep for third place, Night Museum gets that particular vote. Go.
I like that. I like the way that's a good third place. Solid.
Q.
Solid.
Brian, Jess, Q, and myself have not blown a load. Q, this is the last opportunity to do so. It also means Kevin has blown a load. So, as you say, as long as the girls go first, you're fine. Is it Jumanji or Patch Adams?
That's messed up.
You said
That's
that
shit.
so just plain and like smoothly. Like it took me a split second to get it.
There's so much shade on that one. I'm surprised people just didn't flow off of that one. Q,
Yes.
is it Patch Adams or Jumanji?
Well, I really, really want to vote for my butt hair right here. What are the two choices again?
Oh my fucking god.
Is it Jumanji or Patch Adams?
Oh, Jumanji.
Gets a vote, Brian, Jess.
Jumanji.
Brian.
I'm gonna give a little love to Patch Adams. Throw Patch Adams there.
You would.
I would.
Kevin.
Oh, I would.
Jumanji is a great movie, but I think Patch Adams had more depth and more of a meaning to it, so I'll go Patch Adams.
Which means this is a tiebreaker decision coming down to me. I'm not allowed to blow my load. Nobody else did on this particular one. I do personally believe that Patch Adams is a better movie than Jumanji is. Jumanji is a lot more famous, a lot more relevant. People have a lot more nostalgia to it. But just because you haven't seen something doesn't mean it's not the better movie. I'm going to go with Patch Adams on this one. So there is that one. That's our show this week, guys. You had the ability to blow your load, and that may have swayed my vote.
But no,
or at least
you're trying to show off.
Yeah.
No, No,
There you
because I
go.
feel like if I would have blown my load, you then would have blown your load.
I probably would have, but I was listening to other people's arguments as well because I
But
was
you know
torn
I
in that
never
one.
do- You know I never do an argument.
You
I-
really should.
She just blows.
And on that note, Q is getting his own dinner tonight. All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
Somebody's
Right,
sleeping on the
man.
couch. Anyway, that's our show this week, guys. Patch Adams, first place. Jumanji, second place. Night at the Museum 1 gets third place. Q, who is what this show is actually for today, got to go through an entire Robin Williams bracket, just like Harvey went through a Will Smith bracket. We're doing this out of love for him. Q, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram on Master Bastard Q, which I started that off backwards. Let me restart that. No, I'm just kidding. No, you can find me on Facebook under Quentin Vanny Strute. You can also find me on Instagram under Master Bastard Q because, well, I am the master of these bastards. They may think it worked out in their favor, but I'm the one controlling this show.
And you can find the most beautiful bastard at.
You fucking wish you control shit.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about that later.
You can find me on Instagram under JustMe93 or on Facebook under JustMeVanderstreet or on this podcast.
Yeah, and you can find the dank bastard at.
thedailydank.com, guys. Go check out also on Instagram. YouTube is our main hub what we got going on over there. Shows popping up all the time. You'll have a great time. You'll come out danker.
And our lovely, lovely guest this week, Kevin. You can find Kevin at.
You can find me at on Facebook in the official Mod Squad Network community or on Instagram at Back to the Retro Review, all one word.
And of course, I'm your host, Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, check out Bracketology and Bracket Bastards. Currently on Bracketology, we have 2 polls going up. Number 1 is the Dirty Destinations bracket, which we have 32 different destinations from across the U.S. with just dirty names. Names like Hooker, Oklahoma, and Cumming, Iowa, and Big Bone, New York. Stuff like that is always. There's a whole bunch in Kentucky. Kentucky people are just fucking weird, but I love it.
Corny, Iowa on there?
No, because that's not a sexual nature. It's just a funny name.
Corny.
Other than that, we also have the Bracket Bastards podcast bracket going on from the winners bracket is going on. We're in round 3, I believe, on that one. So, and Jurassic Park finally lost. I know it got beat out by Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
I don't like that.
I know, Q's pissed.
It's already unmuted.
And if
Guardians of the fucking Galaxy?
And
is what takes out my Jurassic Park.
Just to create more hate on this one, I'm pretty sure.
Because I did a vote on Guardians.
And it was a close vote. It was a pretty close vote.
How close was it?
I know when I voted, I put it at 50-50.
Yeah. So if Jess would have voted for Jurassic Park, it would have gone the opposite direction.
I just don't get on Facebook that often.
That's your own fault.
You really should. Jurassic Park lost off of that one. On Twitter, you can find me at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Bastards, and of course on Instagram, you can find me as always at Can't Lick Me, not one word. Next week, as I said earlier during the show, we're doing a something I like to call Film Fathers. This is the director's bracket. It is also a versus bracket where we're doing Mel Brooks versus Kevin Smith. When we did this on Bracketology, it's a Sweet 16, by the way, so it's going to be a shorter show next week. Mel Brooks ended up having the top 2 movies in the finals. So there's that. I think the longest running Kevin Smith one was actually Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So, which I was surprised. I thought it was going to be Clerks, but there's that one. I like to end every single show with a quote that is regarding this particular bracket, and this one is from Robin Williams, and I think it fits our show correctly. It says, "I'm sorry. If you were right, I'd agree with you. That is our show this week, guys. We will see you next week. Brooks versus Smith. And as Q always says,
Bastards out.
Deuces.